Hi, I'm Eric Holmgren. I've been coaching fencing for over 25 years, and I love fencing. If you love fencing too, then this is the channel for you. Vladimir Smirnov was a Soviet fencer from the Ukraine. He won the individual gold medal in men's foil at the 1980 Olympics, at the 1982 World Championships in Rome. His mask was punctured by his opponent's blade, which broke during the action. It went into Smirnov's eye and into his brain, and he died 9 days later. The accident brought about many new safety changes. When an armorer or a member of the bout committee is going to inspect a mask prior to a tournament, they're going to be checking for several things. Usually they'll do a visual inspection of the mask, looking to make sure that it has a strap in the back, it has this piece here, or some type of connection. They're also going to be looking to see that everything is in order. That is, there's no loose material, there are no gaps in the material or tears in the material along the bib. They're also going to be checking the mask itself. So they might do a visual inspection looking for anything, but they'll also be feeling the mask. If they feel a dent or a big divot somewhere here in the mask where it might have been hit, they might ask you to push that out before they'll pass inspection. And that's the reason being, a dent in the mask can catch a blade or a broken blade and lead to a possible accident. So they're going to be checking the mask visually, maybe tactily, feeling for it before they get started with the rest of it. At national as well as local and collegiate events, the armor will be using a punch as a way of verifying the strength of the mask. The punch is designed to simulate the mask being struck by a jagged or a broken weapon. And the armor is going to apply it here. They're going to push it in, and that is simulating a certain amount of pressure that has been applied to the mask. And if for some reason the punch would go through the mask, then we'd know that that mask has failed. They'll usually do the pressure test or the punch test in a couple of different spots: on the front of the mask, on the sides of the mask, maybe on the cheeks here as well. So usually they'll test it maybe 3 or 4 spots before passing it. And oftentimes they'll be looking to see if there's any rust or any weak spots. If they do see something, they might intentionally put the punch there and see if they can't cause the mask to fail. Additionally, for foil and saber masks at regional and national level tournaments, they'll oftentimes test the bib. So they'll connect the bib to a voltmeter, and then they will test to see that they don't have any bad spots where the continuity of the electricity doesn't go through. Similarly with the foil bib, they'll test those as well to make sure that they are working and functioning properly, just as if they would test your saber or your foil lame. Now I have here a foil mask that had failed a punch test. There was a gap here that had opened up between the wires due to some hits, and the wires themselves had gotten weak, and then when the test was done, the punch went through in the mask, and so a section of this then had failed. So as a result of this problem here, this gap, this mask was stamped fail. Oftentimes with a mask, they will have it destroyed. They'll have it crushed. They'll smash it flat. This particular one, they'd given it back because it was a brand new mask, and we were sending it back to the manufacturer to get them to try to reimburse us for it since it was fairly new. Usually, though, these are destroyed. So as a fencer, there are some things that you can do to help ensure that your mask passes the inspection. One would be, in the days leading up to the tournament, take a look at your mask. If there are any dents or areas where the mask has gotten pushed into a strike, you can then maybe take the hammer or back end of a wrench and just gently push the dent out so that the mask is smooth. If you have cases where the wires might have gotten pushed apart, you can gently push them back in. If you've got cases where the paint has come off, there's rust or anything like that, you can go ahead and clean that as best you can. And of course, if you have segments where the fabric has come loose, where a blade could get caught, you'd want to try to stitch that in or use hot glue to get that to be flush with the mask. So these are just some simple types of things that you can do to make sure that your mask is going to be safe and it'll pass the mask check. Now, there may be times that your mask suffers trauma. In this particular case, this mask was in a car accident. Somebody had left their bag in the parking lot, and somebody had backed their car over it before they realized what had happened and had smashed the mask. It's possible that with enough energy and effort, you could kind of push it back into its normal shape. But given how much trauma this has suffered, the steel is fatigued, and it really probably would not be safe for you to use a mask like this. I had another colleague of mine who was in a car accident, and his trunk got flattened. His equipment was in it, and his fencing mask was smashed. And so whenever something serious like that happens, it's just time to retire the mask. Maybe use it for target practice, make a target dummy out of it, or maybe a sieve for rinsing noodles. But it's not something that you'd want to try to use safely, even if you were able to get it back into its proper shape. If you enjoyed this video, please click on the like and subscribe buttons. Thank you.